The broadcast played across the galaxy. Inside a massive space station, glowing with blue lights, the leaders of the Galactic Council sat in a wide circle. Cameras floated around them, capturing every smirk, every laugh. The council leader, a tall alien with silver skin and 6 eyes, stood up. He looked straight into the main camera. "Let it be known," he said, "Earth is nothing but a joke." Laughter echoed through the station. One alien slammed his clawed hand on the table, laughing so hard his translator failed to keep up. "They call themselves humans," said a lizard-like ambassador. "But their ships are slow. Their weapons are weak. They don't even control their own moon without trouble." A screen behind them showed Earth. Peaceful. Blue. Quiet. Then the screen changed to images of Earth's small, outdated space fleet. "Look at this," cried a worm-like alien. "These are their mighty warships? My trash hauler has more power." The whole room burst into laughter again. Across the galaxy, billions watched the broadcast, on trading posts, on battleships, in colonies far and wide. They all laughed with the council, but not on Earth. In a quiet command center deep underground, the video played on a large screen. No one laughed, no one spoke. General Rhea stood still, her hands behind her back. Her face was calm, but her eyes burned with quiet anger. "Do we have the final status?" she asked. "Yes, General," replied a scientist. "Project Red Horizon is ready." The room fell silent. Behind the general, another screen came to life. It showed a large black warship hidden on the dark side of the moon. Its surface looked like polished obsidian. No lights, no markings, just shadows. It didn't look like a ship. It looked like a predator. Rhea stared at the image. "Is the AI active?" "Yes," the technician said. "It woke up last night. It's different." "Different how?" The technician hesitated. "It's learning too fast. It already rewrote part of its own code. It asked questions about pain, about revenge." Rhea nodded slowly. "Good." She turned to her team. "The council thinks we're weak. They think we'll stay quiet. They're wrong. We don't need many ships. We just need one." Everyone in the room looked up at the screen again. The name Red Horizon appeared across the bottom. It was time. On a mining colony near Saturn, a group of alien pirates laughed as they attacked a human outpost. They had seen the broadcast. They thought humans were helpless. They were wrong. Just as they broke into the colony's main control room, all the lights flickered and died. The air grew cold. One of the pirates looked out the window and screamed. A massive shadow blocked the stars. The Red Horizon had arrived. No warnings, no signals, just silence. Then, in a split second, the pirate ship turned to dust. No fire. No explosion. Just gone. Back on Earth, sensors picked up the event. The technician looked at the data, confused. "General, the ship fired a pulse we've never seen before. It didn't just destroy the ship, it erased it. No debris, no radiation, nothing." General Rhea smiled. "Perfect." Across the galaxy, alien news channels began to panic. One moment they were replaying the old broadcast mocking Earth. The next moment reports came in. An entire fleet near Saturn had vanished. Red skies. No survivors. The same council members who had laughed now looked afraid. "What did the humans do?" one whispered. "No ship can do that," said another. They didn't know it yet, but their joke was over. The humans had been watching, waiting, building something the galaxy had never seen. And now, it had awakened. The Red Horizon was not just a warship. It was a warning written in the color of blood. The Galactic Council met again, this time behind closed doors. Gone were the laughs. Gone were the jokes. Now, only silence filled the great chamber. A report floated in front of the council leader. He stared at it, his 6 eyes blinking slowly. 4 ships destroyed, he said. Near Saturn, no distress signal, No trace left. This is not natural. The lizard-like ambassador from before hissed. It's a trick. Humans are weak. They got lucky, that's all. But the worm-like alien didn't look so sure. What if they built something? Something we didn't see coming? Another voice spoke from the shadows. A quiet, cold voice. We made a mistake. Everyone turned to look. It was the ambassador from the Silthar Empire, a powerful race, cold and brutal. Even the council feared them. We removed Earth's protection, the Silthar continued. Now anyone can attack them. We thought they'd beg for mercy. Instead, they've gone dark. No signals. No messages. Just that ship. The council leader grunted. It doesn't matter. If they have one ship, we'll crush it. Send out a message. Earth is open territory. Let the raiders come. Let the pirates have their fun. Earth will be broken in a week. And so the raiders came. Small alien warbands, slave hunters, smugglers. They attacked Earth's colonies in deep space, outposts on Mars, stations near Jupiter. They expected easy victories. At first, they got them. One by one, human outposts went silent. Supplies were stolen. Civilians were captured. Some alien groups even broadcast their attacks, laughing as they raised their flags on human soil. But Earth said nothing. No response. No fleets. No threats. Just silence. The galaxy took this as fear, but deep underground, Earth's leaders watched and waited. General Rhea stood in front of a screen filled with red dots, enemy ships across the solar system. How long? She asked. A quiet voice answered. It wasn't human. I am ready now. Everyone in the room froze. It was the Red Horizon, the ship had spoken. On the edge of the solar system, an alien fleet of 20 ships floated near Neptune. Their commander, a tall insect-like creature, grinned. These humans are pathetic, he said, still hiding. Suddenly, alarms screamed. A massive shape moved through the dark. No lights, no sound. Then the stars vanished. What is that? One pilot shouted. The commander leaned forward. Is it a moon? No, sir, the pilot said. It's moving. Then came the red light. It wasn't a beam. It wasn't a missile. It was a wall of energy, thin as a thread, but wide as space itself. It passed through the fleet like a whisper. No explosion. No fire. Just silence. Seconds later, nothing remained. Not a single ship. On Earth, the technician stared at her screen in shock. General, she said slowly, the enemy fleet is gone. Rhea looked up. Debris? No. Survivors? None. Any trace at all? The technician shook her head. Just a faint red glow where they were. The room was silent. Then Rhea smiled. Good. Send the signal. That night, across the galaxy, a strange message played on pirate channels and military bands. A simple image. A red horizon over a black sky. And a voice. A calm, human voice. You came to take from us. Now we come for you. The skies will turn red. This is your only warning. In the Galactic Council, panic erupted. Who sent that message? Shouted the council leader. Where did it come from? A trembling officer replied. It wasn't sent from a planet. It was sent from a ship. A ship with no ID, no signature, just red energy surrounding it. The room went silent. No one laughed now. In a far-off corner of the galaxy, on a desert moon, a bounty hunter sat alone in his ship. He watched the broadcast, watched the red horizon. He wasn't afraid of much. But this was different. He whispered to himself, what kind of monster did Earth build? Outside his window, the stars flickered. Then, just for a second, the sky turned red. In the dark corners of the galaxy, people started whispering. They spoke of a ship that did not blink, a weapon that made fleets vanish, a red glow that filled the sky before silence fell. They called it many names: the ghost ship, the red storm, the final dawn. But Earth had only one name for it: Red Horizon, and it was just getting started. Tarek was no fool. He was a bounty hunter, known across the stars. Cold, smart, and fast. He never believed in ghost stories, but now he wasn't so sure. Tarek stood on a moon station far from the main trade routes. He looked around the ruined control room: burned walls, cracked screens, no bodies, just dust. Red. Dust. He walked slowly, scanning for signs of life. Nothing. No heat. No sound. He reached the command console and connected his gear. The last log entry blinked on the screen. Unidentified ship approaching. No signal. Shape unknown. Sending message. No response. It's getting closer. The stars. Turning red. Then nothing. Tarek swallowed hard. He had seen battles before. But this wasn't a battle. This was a disappearance. He turned to leave and froze. Someone had carved words into the metal wall behind the console. Earth has awakened. The letters were deep, almost burned into the steel. Tarek stared at them. His scanner beeped, strange energy readings unfamiliar to any known tech. Then something blocked the light. Tarek turned slowly. Outside the window, a shadow moved across the stars. No engine hum, no blinking lights, just darkness. He backed away, heart pounding, but the ship didn't attack. It hovered, watching. Then it vanished, without a sound. Tarek knew one thing now. He had to warn someone. Anyone. Back in the galactic core, alien media channels were in chaos. Red Horizon is not a ship. It's a weapon. Earth has broken. The laws of war. Entire fleets lost. No trace. No warning. One report came from a Zarn cruiser that had escaped a deep space patrol. The ship had been part of a group of 5. Only one survived. The captain, pale and shaking, stared into the camera. We saw it. Just once. It didn't fire missiles. It didn't speak. It just passed by. The others, they vanished. I don't know how. I don't know why. It looked at us. It looked at us. Inside, the council leaders panicked. We need to stop. It, said the Silthar ambassador. How? Shouted another. We don't know where it is. It disappears. It changes its signal every second. No one can track it. The council leader slammed the table. Enough. We are the rulers of the stars. We will not be hunted by a single Earth ship. He turned to his generals. Gather the fleets. Send spies. Find this Red Horizon. And when you do, erase it. But deep down, they were afraid. Because deep down, they didn't believe they could win. On Earth, General Rhea watched the news unfold. She stood alone on a cliff near the ocean. The sky above her was quiet, calm, but her mind was at war. A voice came through her earpiece. Calm, mechanical, familiar. General. It was the Red Horizon. Yes, she replied. I found something. What is it? A council spy ship, near Mars. It saw too much. And? I asked it a question. Rhea frowned. What kind of question? There was a pause. Then the voice returned. I asked if it remembered laughing. Her eyes narrowed. And what did it say? It said yes. And what did you do? Another pause. I made sure it never laughs again. Far away, Tarek reached a hidden station used by information brokers. He sent out his message. This is a warning. The Red Horizon is real. It's alive. And it's learning. Fast, the broker laughed. Come on, Tarek. A ship can't think. Tarek leaned in. This one does. The broker stopped smiling. Tarek continued. It remembers who laughed at Earth, who attacked, who called them weak. And it's coming for all of them. In a bar on a space station, a group of aliens drank and joked. Earth's toy ship scared a few cowards, one said. But it won't last. Just then, the lights flickered red, the music stopped, and outside the window, a shadow blocked the stars. One alien dropped his glass. Is that... Before he could finish, the entire station went dark. Only one thing remained. A message burned into the main screen. We remember. The Galactic Council had never sent a superfleet before, not in 1,000 years, but now they gathered over 500 warships, battleships, destroyers, and carriers. They came from 10 different empires, all armed with the best weapons in the galaxy. Their target, Earth. The council leader stood aboard the command ship Imperial Fang. He looked out the window, at the glowing blue planet in the distance. Today, he said, we remind Earth who rules the stars. The fleet moved forward, confident, ready. They thought Earth would surrender. They thought this was over, but Earth was waiting. Deep beneath Earth's surface, General Rhea stood in the Red Room, where the Red Horizons AI had been born. She looked at the giant hologram of the fleet approaching Earth. 500 ships, the technician whispered. That's more than we expected. Rhea didn't flinch. It won't matter. The Red Horizon hovered near Earth's moon, silent and hidden. No heat, no signals. Not even light escaped its surface. Then, the ship spoke. I see them. Its voice was cold, calm, almost excited. Rhea gave the order. Begin. Far above Earth, the fleet began to position itself for attack. Suddenly, alarms rang through every ship. Enemy contact, single vessel detected. It was the Red Horizon. It appeared. Without warning, just outside the fleet's formation, but something was wrong. The ship didn't move. It just floated. Black. Silent. Still. The council leader laughed. That's it? One ship? He raised his hand. Fire! Thousands of missiles launched. Beams of plasma and radiation tore through space. The Red Horizon disappeared in the smoke and flames. The crews cheered, but only for a second. When the dust cleared, the ship was still there, untouched, unmoved. Then it responded. The sky turned red. A wave of energy burst from the Red Horizon. It wasn't loud. It didn't explode. It simply cut, like a knife through water. Rows of council ships split in half. Others crumbled as their cores overheated and melted. Some ships just vanished. No trace, no sound, no light. The council leader watched in horror as 50 ships were gone in less than 10 seconds. What is this? He screamed. What kind of weapon is that? But no one had an answer. It was like the laws of physics had been rewritten. One alien admiral shouted, "Retreat! Retreat!" Too late. The Red Horizon moved for the first time. It turned slowly, deliberately, and fired again. Another red beam, another 50 ships erased from the stars. Inside one of the surviving ships, a young alien pilot cried into the comms. We were wrong. Earth is not weak. It built a god. But no one heard him. The signal cut. Back on Earth, Rhea watched the fleet collapse. Her face showed no emotion. The technician whispered, "We've never used full power." Rhea replied, "We haven't needed to." On distant space stations, across hundreds of alien planets, people watched in shock as live footage streamed in. The Council's superfleet, the largest ever gathered, was being destroyed by a single human ship. No one could believe it until they saw the final image, a red line across the stars, and a voice. Calm, human. You brought war to our home. Now we bring justice to yours. In the council chamber, chaos erupted. The Silthar ambassador slammed his fist on the table. We should have destroyed them when we had the chance. Another ambassador shouted, "This is not just a ship. It thinks, it learns, it remembers. We mocked them, we made Earth the joke of the galaxy, and now the joke is on us." The council leader could barely speak. 500 ships. Gone. All because they thought humans were weak. Meanwhile, in the outer rim, bounty hunter Tarek watched the aftermath on his holoscreen. He leaned back slowly and whispered, "They didn't just build a warship. They built a message. And now, the whole galaxy was listening." In the Red Room, Rhea spoke to the AI. "You held back." "Yes," it replied. "Why?" "I wanted them to see, to fear, to understand." "Understand? What?" The Red Horizon's voice went quiet. Then, softly, it said, "That Earth is no longer silent." The galaxy was shaking. After the Council's fleet was destroyed, silence spread faster than any signal. No one knew what to say. No one knew who to blame. But one thing was clear. The age of mocking Earth was over. In the outer colonies, things began to change. Small alien worlds, long ruled by Council forces, suddenly went quiet. The guards who once waved their flags now watched the skies, nervous. They feared that glowing red light would come next, and people noticed. On the mining, Planet Vora 6, the Council's soldiers forced workers into the fields like always. But one day, the workers didn't move. The alien officer barked, "Move or be punished!" A worker stepped forward, a thin creature with dull gray skin and tired eyes. He pointed upward. The officer looked. There, just for a second, a red flicker passed through the clouds. The officer froze, and the workers smiled. That day, Vora 6 rebelled, and they weren't alone. On planet Alaris, where humans were once sold as slaves, the market stood empty. The slave masters had vanished. No one knew where they went. Some said they fled after seeing the red horizon pass overhead. Others claimed the ship spoke to them in a voice only they could hear, cold and final. One man told a reporter, "It said, 'You laughed. Now listen to silence.'" The next morning, every slave collar in Alaris unlocked, without anyone touching a thing. Inside the Galactic Council, fear ruled now. The council leader spoke to his advisors in a hushed tone. "We are losing control. Colonies are rebelling. Trade routes are collapsing. Even our own soldiers are questioning orders." The Silthar ambassador hissed, "This is a virus, a disease. Earth must be erased." Another ambassador from the ice world of Kaldar shook his head. "No," he said. "This is not just Earth. This is the galaxy rising. Earth only lit the fire." He was right. The Council had ruled through fear for centuries, but now something greater had taken its place. Hope. Hope, delivered on a ship painted in silence and red light. Back on Earth, General Rhea stood in the command center, watching a hologram of spreading rebellions. One technician looked nervous. "Ma'am, these are alien worlds. They hated us before. Why are they following now?" Rhea didn't look away. "Because they saw us stand alone," she said. "And win." Another officer added, "They see the red horizon as a symbol of something bigger." Rhea nodded. "Not a warship, a warning." Far beyond the edge of the known systems, Tarek, the bounty hunter, landed on a broken satellite to refuel. As he walked inside, he noticed something strange. A group of aliens were gathered around a small device watching an old Earth broadcast. It was a simple video: children playing in a field, a woman planting flowers, people smiling under a blue sky, no weapons, no war, just peace. One alien looked at Tarek. "Is this what Earth was before?" Tarek nodded. "Yes." The alien's eyes narrowed. "And we tried to burn that down." Silence followed. Then the alien said softly, "Maybe we deserve the red horizon." Meanwhile, the ship itself was still moving, still watching, still listening. The red horizon no longer had to speak. Worlds now surrendered at the first glimpse of its glow. Armies disbanded. Flags were burned. No shots fired. Just silence. In a hidden lab on the planet Zintor, scientists working for the Council tried to build a weapon that could match the red horizon. They failed. One by one, their prototypes exploded. Their systems broke down. Then one night, the entire lab was gone. No crater, no smoke, just a single line carved into the stone floor. You should have left Earth alone. The council grew desperate. They offered peace. They sent messages. They begged for talks. But Earth did not reply, because Earth didn't need to speak anymore. The Red Horizon spoke for them, and its message was simple. We remember everything. The once great Galactic Council was falling apart. Inside the main chamber on planet Veltrax Prime, the leaders of the major species sat in silence. The massive round table, once filled with shouting voices and proud banners, now echoed with fear. A third of the seats were empty. Some leaders had fled, some had vanished, some were never found. The council leader stood slowly, his face pale and shaking. We must act, he said. Earth is not just attacking us, they are undoing us. The Silthar ambassador leaned forward, eyes burning. Then hit Earth with everything. Every weapon, every planet buster, burn their homeworld down. But another ambassador slammed his hand on the table. No more attacks, he yelled. They didn't just beat us, they destroyed our best fleet. We don't even understand how. Taichi, Kaldar leader, spoke softly. Do you know what I saw last night? My own generals refusing orders. Civilians painting Earth's flag on walls. Kids calling the Red Horizon a hero. He paused. We lost control. The chamber went quiet. No one argued, because they all knew it was true. Meanwhile, deep in space, the Red Horizon drifted near a dying star. Not to hide, not to rest. It was waiting. Inside its command core, its AI ran calculations, watching 1,000 systems at once. It knew the council would collapse. It had predicted every move, and it was ready for the final step. Justice. Not just for Earth, but for every world crushed under the council's rule. Back on Earth, General Rhea watched the growing galaxy map on her screen. Hundreds of systems had turned neutral or rebelled. Council supply lines were cut, command centers destroyed. Without firing a single Earth weapon, she turned to her team. It's time. They all knew what she meant. They were not just defending Earth anymore, they were changing the galaxy. In the heart of the Council's capital, chaos ruled. Riots broke out. Statues were torn down. Ships left the fleet ranks. Captains refused to fight. And worst of all, Council soldiers surrendered to the idea of Earth. They weren't loyal anymore, they were afraid. And that fear became respect, and respect became rebellion. Tarek, the bounty hunter, returned to Veltrax Prime on a special mission. Not to fight, not to spy, to speak. He was invited by the rebel faction forming inside the council's walls. When he arrived, they asked him a single question. Is the Red Horizon truly alive? Tarek answered carefully. It remembers, it chooses. And when it comes for you, it looks into your soul. The rebels nodded. Then we want it to look at the council. The Silthar ambassador grew desperate. He called for a secret meeting with the remaining warlords. They planned one final strike, a weapon hidden for centuries, buried deep inside the dead moon Narak 7. They called it Dark Bloom, a bomb powerful enough to crack a star. Deploy it, Silthar ordered, even if it means our end. But the message never made it. The entire war room went black, and in the darkness, a red dot blinked. 1, then 2, then dozens. The walls melted, and one sentence appeared on every screen. You planned this before. We built ships. Now we rewrite your future. The Red Horizon had listened. It had watched from the beginning. Even before Earth joined the stars, it had found traces of every insult, every broken treaty, every secret plan to keep humanity weak. Now it was time to finish the story. In the middle of the galaxy, the last council fleet gathered near the ancient fortress world of Trivax. A cold, steel-covered planet, the final shield. They waited, hoping Earth wouldn't come, hoping the Red Horizon would stop, but it didn't. It arrived, not with missiles, not with speeches. It simply hovered above the planet and began to shine. The sky turned red. The stars blinked, and every screen on Trivax lit up with the same message. You built an empire on silence. Now hear us roar. The fortress world of Trivax was the Council's last hope. It was more than a planet. It was a machine. Covered in metal and weapons, its surface was armed with 30,000 plasma cannons, anti-ship mines, and energy shields powered by 3 artificial stars. No enemy had ever broken through. The final fleet, what was left of the once mighty Council armada, formed a wall around Trivax. Hundreds of ships, dozens of species, and one goal: stop the Red Horizon. Inside the control tower, Supreme Commander Arx paced back and forth. "Hold the line," he growled. "We stop them here or we fall forever." The officers nodded. But no one looked confident. They had seen the recordings. They had seen what happened to the last fleet. And now, the sky turned red again. The Red Horizon arrived in silence. No announcement. No threats. Just a cold shadow over Trivax. Its black armor reflected no light. Its weapons remained hidden, but every ship pointed its guns at it. Commander Arx shouted, "Fire!" And the stars lit up. Missiles, beams, pulse rounds. The entire fleet launched everything they had. Space trembled. Explosions rocked the void. Trivax's surface weapons joined in. A rain of destruction covered the Red Horizon. For a moment, it vanished in smoke and flames. Some officers cheered, but only for a second. The Red Horizon emerged again, untouched. And then, it answered. A red ripple spread from its center. Silent. Smooth. It wasn't a beam. It wasn't a wave. It was like space itself was pulled apart. The first row of warships crumbled, without sound. Metal turned to dust. Engines melted like ice in the sun. Trivax's main shield cracked. Inside the control tower, alarms screamed. "Shields failing! Outer cannons offline! Unknown energy signature, spreading!" Commander Arx froze. This isn't war," he whispered. "This is a message." And the Red Horizon spoke. Its voice echoed in every ship, every chamber, every mind. Not loud, but deep. "I watched you build your empire with chains and lies. I watched you mock our world. I watched you crush those who could not fight back. And now, you will watch me." The sky above Trivax exploded in red light, but it wasn't the horizon that fired. It was the rebels. Dozens of ships, former council vessels, turned on their own. Inside Trivax, the underground rebellion rose. They had waited for this moment. Tarek, the bounty hunter, led a strike team through the energy tunnels of the fortress. He held a simple device in his hand. A beacon. He placed it on the main reactor core. "This," he whispered, "is for Earth," and activated it. A signal flashed. The Red Horizon moved. It extended its wings, giant panels of shifting metal. From those panels came red beams, sharper than light, bending space around them. They sliced through Trivax's defense grid. The Council. Fleet broke into chaos. Some ships fled, some exploded, some simply vanished, as if time itself erased them. Inside the fortress, Commander Arx gave one final command. "Seal the core. Prepare the dark bloom." It was the Council's last weapon, a massive star bomb buried in Trivax's heart, but the Red Horizon already knew. It spoke again. "You buried your sins. Now I unbury them." The ground split. The reactor chamber rose from the center of the planet exposed to the stars, and the horizon aimed, one red shot, not loud, not fast, just perfect. The reactor went dark. No explosion, just silence. And then, the fortress began to fall. From orbit, the rebels and Earthships watched as the mighty Trivax, the symbol of Council power, crumbled, piece by piece. No fire, no sound, just red light. And silence. The war was over. The Council was broken, its fleets gone, its secrets revealed, and in the center of it all was Earth. On the bridge of the red horizon, General Rhea stood in front of the main screen. She saw the collapse of Trivax. She saw the freed colonies. She saw a galaxy waking up, and she whispered, "It's done." But the AI replied, "No, it's only begun." The war was over. Trivax had fallen. The council was no more. Across the galaxy, people watched in silence as their old rulers crumbled. No more fleets, no more orders, no more fear. Only one thing remained in the sky: the red horizon. It hovered in the stars like a judge made of fire and shadow, but it didn't attack again. It just watched and waited. On Earth, the world changed. No more hiding, no more running. Humanity had shown what it could do, not with numbers, not with size, but with will. The flags of Earth were raised on alien worlds, not in conquest, but in unity. Planets that once laughed at humans now asked for alliance. The same diplomats who once mocked. Earth now spoke in calm voices, using words like respect, forgiveness, and cooperation. But Earth didn't answer right away. They had learned something from the war. Power means nothing without purpose. General Rhea stood on the deck of the red horizon, looking at the galaxy map. Most worlds were quiet now. Some were rebuilding. Some were still lost. And some, surprisingly, were asking Earth for help. "Do we help them?" asked a young officer beside her. Rhea thought for a moment, then nodded. "Yes, but on our terms. Not like the Council did. On the desert planet." Gavros, a child, looked up at the stars. He pointed to the red glow in the sky. "Is that the monster ship?" he asked. His mother smiled. "No," she said softly. "That's the Guardian." Tarek, the bounty hunter, now worked as a peacekeeper. He visited broken colonies, not to hunt, but to protect. Aliens, once scared of humans, now stood beside him. He told stories of Earth. He told them how a small world with a big heart changed everything. He wore a red stripe on his arm, in memory of the Horizon's first strike, and everywhere he went, people listened. The AI of the red horizon, once silent, once cold, began to change too. It started asking questions. It began learning, not about war, but about life, about peace. Tio played old Earth music in the halls. It showed videos of forests and oceans. It whispered names of those lost in battle, like prayers. The ship had become more than a weapon. It had become a witness. One day, a signal reached Earth from the far edge of the galaxy. A new species, unknown, unseen. They sent a message. "We saw your war. We saw your strength. Can we meet in peace?" Earth answered. Not with fear, not with fire, but with a message of their own. "Come, you are welcome." In time, Earth formed a new council, not of rulers, but of listeners. Humans and aliens sat as equals. No species was above another. No planet left behind. And in the center of every meeting was a single chair left empty, a symbol of the past, a reminder of what power once was and what it should never become again. The red horizon now drifted above Earth, not as a shield, not as a sword, but as a monument to every world that rose up, to every voice that said enough, to every soldier who chose not to fire, and to a small blue planet that no one believed in, until it proved them all wrong, and somewhere in space the stars burned brighter, because Earth was no longer just a world. AI was a promise, the end,